Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana. There we go. Sound off on my laptop. Welcome. So it's March, first live of the month of March, and spring is in the air. I live in beautiful British Columbia in Canada on the West Coast, and I am a ferry ride up from Vancouver. So I'm in this beautiful place where spring tends to happen really early in the year. So I'm hoping it comes soon. So how are you all? How are you? And I hope everything is okay with you. I know I've had some crazy energy moving through me the last few days, and I might share some of that with you tonight because it's been unbelievable. And I have one particular story I'd like to share with you, mostly because I would like to know if you've had similar experiences. Hi, Jen. Nice to have you here. And hi, Whale Song. Hi, Sacred Turtle. Spring-like day in Kansas. That's awesome. Yeah, it feels so good, doesn't it? Just to have that shift of energy, and it feels a lot lighter. So yeah, so there's a few things that, there's a whole bunch of things I'm going to lead with. I don't know how it's all going to unfold tonight, but the topic for tonight is how I kind of unpack and how I start to work with a new deck, especially if it's a little bit different. And I know it's going to be a lot more work. And I am becoming, as you know, I've got quite a collection of decks, and I'm starting to become a little more selective in what I buy and do a little more research before I purchase it, just because, especially if it's a deck that I don't completely resonate with, then it's an investment, and so I'm trying to be more selective in that area. So tonight I'm going to share with you the way that I unpack decks, and how I welcome them into my collection, how I start working with them, and the kind of work I do so I get really, really comfortable with them. So that's the theme tonight. Plus I have at least 4. 3 of them are really, really new, and 2 of them one of them I haven't even opened yet. So you're going to get to have a look at it tonight. So we'll look at decks and cards and stuff as well too. So next, how about announcements? Because I have a few of those. So first of all, I've got at the top of my paper is to say thank you. I am so grateful and so appreciative of the detailed comments that some of you are writing to me, the inquiries, the emails that are coming through, and I really appreciate the connection. That has been a beautiful part of getting going with this channel, the channel growing, meeting more people, like-minded people. And I am really happy to support new tarot readers and people of other interests too. So I've met fellow Reiki practitioners, and we've talked about meditation and all kinds of books and things with different people through different chats and extensions of readings that I've had with people and so forth. So thank you, all of you, for your contact. And some of you have asked really hard questions, and I appreciate it. And there's a couple of them that I have on my table here that I have to do a little bit of research before I can answer the questions. So I'm the first person who says, no problem saying, I don't know. That's a really good question. So give me a little bit of time. I'll do some legwork, and then I'll get back to you. And I will. If I say I'll get back to you and I don't get back to you within a few weeks, please remind me. It's because I've got a lot of requests on the table at this time. So yeah. So I see more people are arriving at the live. Try to do this without my glasses popping on. Hi, Ange. I see Ange is here too. So welcome. And oh, that cute little dolphin emoji. That's awesome. So great. I'm really happy when you guys are chatting amongst yourselves as well too. And as always, please put anything in caps or at Integrative Healing with Sadhana if you have a particular, if you want to get my attention. So yeah. So you know the topic for tonight. I've said a thank you. Oh, and a couple more things. So one is I opted in for Super Chat. And I don't know if you can see it. I don't see it on my, hi Iridescency. I don't see it on my screen because I'm on the live stream. Oh no, it's there. It's there. So I've never used it, and I don't expect anybody to use it. But the reason that it's there is because it's a way, if you like the work that I do, yeah, you can click on that $ down below. And what that does is it supports my channel. So these videos that I create, they take a lot of love. They take a lot of time and energy. And sometimes it takes a whole day to produce one video. For example, those follow-up readings that I did for the year ahead cards, that was all my own doing. So it was totally inspired. I was sitting in bed one morning and was thinking about my day, what I was going to do, if I was going to do a video today. And then I started getting these messages about these year ahead cards. You got to do a follow-up reading. You've got to do a follow-up reading. And I don't know if it was for a particular person or a particular group of people. So I spent a lot of time doing those follow-up readings, and I went back to the January 1st readings and tried to link the two together and really give you a big offering. So when I do something like that, that's a pretty, it's a lot of work, but it's the work that I love. And I have to say, it's a pleasure. It's a real pleasure to do this kind of stuff. And I feel privileged to be able to spend as much time I do doing this kind of stuff. So yeah. So I added the super chat, and I also added the coffee button, Ko-fi, Ko-fi button. So there's a link for it in most of my videos now. And there's also a button on the top of my YouTube channel. And I want to thank Monica from Tarot Tales, because she was the first person who sent me a cup of coffee. So thank you very much, Monica. I really appreciate it. As well as an anonymous person. And this anonymous person, so when you donate, I actually see your email, so I know who it is, but she wanted to be anonymous. She is the sweetest person. She writes me the most lovely things, and it just makes my heart melt. So I want you to know that I really appreciate that. So thank you. My chakra course is coming up really, really soon. And I'm ready for the introduction. So the introduction is in March. It's on the Saturday, March 21st, I believe. And you have an option, if you're interested in this course and you haven't signed up yet, to just do the introduction, and that'll give you a really good feel for how the course is going to go. And then you can take that portion off the remainder of the course and then pay that amount. The course is in Canadian dollars. So I don't know if everybody realized that. So the course is 500 Canadian dollars, which right now is about 375 US dollars. So in US dollars, it's significantly less. So if that is a consideration for any of you. And I have a link in this video in the description box below where you can go to my blog, get a bit more information, and also the link to the video about the course is there as well too, and the registration. So I think that's it. Yeah. I've been doing some private tutorials lately, so that's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy working with new tarot readers and yeah. So let's get into the cards, and I think I've said hi. If I've missed saying hello to anyone, I apologize, and I'll try to catch you later in the chat. Okay. So I'm going to go back a bit, because the first one I'm going to talk about is one I received a while back, the Stolen Child Tarot. And I have quite a few fairy decks in my collection. I also love poetry. And I was inspired by the fact that a creator would build a whole deck around a poem. This is the extra book. I went and ordered the extra book online. This deck is by Monica Knighton. And the whole deck is inspired by the Stolen Child. And sorry, I was just looking for something here. So it's not a particularly long poem. It is 4 stanzas, and it's by William Butler Yeats. And this poem also has inspired, there's a band in the UK that did a song about the poem as well too. So the energy of the poem is really beautiful, and the mythology around the fae and the I think it's deeper than mythology. Like if you live in Ireland and Scotland, there's this real kind of blending of the culture of the fae with, and I don't want to call them superstitions, they're actual like practices and the way that people live life and the way people think and they feel. And so I was really touched that Monica decided to do this deck through about the poem. And then I got the cards, and lovely box, high quality, like nice production, all of that. And I was a little disappointed, actually, when I got the cards. I felt like I was not being transported into the poem. There was something about, the cards are beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. There's nothing, this one is really nice. But I didn't feel the connection between the cards and the poem. And so what I did was I went to several people's websites to read an analysis of Yeats's poem, to try to see if I was missing something, if I was not getting something. And then I went to Monica's website, and perhaps this one feels a bit like that, to see if I was missing something. And it felt like a disconnect between the poem and the cards. And because this is such a beautiful deck, I didn't want to just trade it right away. I wanted to give it a little bit of time. So I put it back on my shelf. And recently I went and I ordered this. And there's not much more in this than in the online PDF. So you're not getting anything extra with the print book. So I went to the back of the book where she has the bibliography. And this is something that I find myself doing if I am not connecting with the deck. So at the back, one of the first things she has, there's only three actually, the third thing, it says the William Blake Tarot book download. So this transported me, and I'm serious, I mean transported me to a website called williamblaketarot.com, a tarot that I had never heard of. I know who William Blake is. And so I've been spending some time on that website, kind of trying to understand what the William Blake Tarot is, because if she is referring to the William Blake Tarot, maybe I can understand the Stolen Child Tarot if I know more about the William Blake Tarot. Well, the William Blake Tarot is a bit like it's like beginning to study the Thoth. There's so much information there. So he has created a whole world. So the UK, the sacred name, I don't know if that's the right term for the UK, is Albion. And he has divided, metaphorically, his deck is a representation of all of the UK. And so the suits in his deck are Wales, Scotland, England, and Ireland. And each of the countries, each of these pieces of Albion have an energy. They have an art. They have a male and a feminine and a masculine deity, and many, many other associations. It's fascinating. And I'm getting lost in all of this because it's really, really interesting. And I need to go and print all these pages because I find it very hard looking at the computer all day. And especially if I'm doing multiple projects during the day and then I come home at night to do a little bit of tarot study and I'm on the computer again. So I need to get that printed because there's pages and pages and beautiful references. And I've tried to print the there's a PDF as well too that I will get printed on Lulu or something, because it's just an amazing offering, and it's free. So why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this because sometimes decks, it's impossible to get to know them unless you can dive deeper and you can kind of read between the lines. And for me, reading between the lines was going to the back of this book and thinking, okay, well, maybe I need to, kind of figure out what's going on with the William Blake Tarot so that I can understand the Stolen Child Tarot. And I've only just started that process. So I just, Did any of you pick up this deck? Is it something? I'm just curious. And so I've looked on YouTube, and nobody's done a deep dive with this deck on YouTube. It seems to have arrived, and a few people did a walkthrough, and they were really happy with the beautiful cards and the flora and the fauna and all of that. But nobody's really kind of taken off with it, and the tarot certainly hasn't taken off. So I will get back to you on the Stolen Child Tarot. So yeah. Yes, such a lovely poem. Okay. Jen says never heard of it. Yeah. So I think it came into my hands last summer. I didn't look at I have a spreadsheet where I have all of my things. Lori has it. I do have it and love it. I have gifted it to my niece as well. Okay. So it is one of those decks where the suits are the names are changed of the suits, and a lot of the cards, I don't know if it's 50%. Some of them are easy to read because they have a connection to RWS, and some of them really take off on their own kind of energy. So I'm going to continue to explore that. So I'm going to go back because I feel like I went way, way ahead. When a deck arrives in my mailbox, I'm always really excited. I go to pick it up and I bring it home, and usually I don't unwrap it right away. I try to find some time to unwrap it when the dog's not wanting to go out, or there's no interruptions, because I really like to make a special little ceremony of it. Clear space on my table, light a candle, smudge the deck, maybe turn on some sacred music, make sure the table's clean, and make sure I'm feeling good, and then take off the wrapping and begin to open the deck. And what I do is, when I go through the cards, you've probably seen this, other people do this, I actually say hello, not aloud, and welcome, and I go through the cards, all 78 of them one at a time, and I just kind of welcome them into my world. And sometimes a particular deck, something will jump out of the deck. There'll be an obvious theme, or there'll be a certain kind of symbol, or a certain kind of 2 or 3 kinds of symbols, or there'll be a color theme. And so as I'm opening the deck and going through the deck, I'll be putting it into piles to come back to later. Or maybe it'll be a card that I am really attracted to. I'll put that aside. One of the things I got from Chris Ann, I think it was in the Sacred Creators, was to choose your favorite card and to choose your least favorite card, or the one that really kind of repulses you, and to do a little bit of journaling about that as well too. So that's one of the things I do. And then I pick up those piles and I have a look at that. I make some notes about some of my observations. Excuse me. And then I divide the cards into majors and into suits. And I take quite a bit of time, and this certainly doesn't happen in one day, and I go through the majors and each of the suits, and I lie them out, and I kind of look and see about the color, and I look and see about the progression, different things that are going on. And I usually would take, I don't know, a couple of weeks to really kind of really on a daily basis to muck around with the deck and lay things out. And then sometimes I'll lay out the whole deck. So I'll have all the aces, all the twos, threes, fours, fives. Can't get them all on a table, right? So I'll do ace through five, and I'll have a really good look at that map of the ace through five, all four suits lined up, and just see what arises. And every deck is different because every deck's going to have a different feel and different, I don't know, different energy. Like when I received Dame Darcy's Alice Tarot, I just felt inspired. And so I went to the garage and I went and got out some old boxes, and I pulled out my annotated Alice, and I decided to go through the deck and put it in order that the cards appeared in book 1 and book 2. And that was so much fun. And in that process, I really got to know the deck. And so I made a video about that. And so if you get a deck like the Alice Tarot from Bubba Studios, Karen Mahoney, she does that for you in the guidebook, but I did that for you with the Queen Alice Tarot. It was fun. And I did that. That was before I got that second Alice deck. So it's different with every deck, you know, what I do and how I receive it and how I study it. So this one, I feel like I've gotten some really big project decks lately. This one is a newer one to my collection. Hi, Paula. And I think I saw this deck on Wasima's Ascension Waves channel the first time. And I feel like I've been getting lost in this deck. So Carmen Sorrenti did an interview both with Wasima on Ascension Waves channel, and she did one on Tarot Tube as well too. This is a tarot deck of dream work, and it is amazing. So I should tell you what the Arcos are. So the Arcos are sages from the Mediterranean tradition who went into the caves. So where she is from, Positano in Italy. So Positano, I believe, I've never been there, is up higher on the cliff. And so down on the cliffs, there's actually caves that go in where the Mediterranean Sea is, right? And so the Arcos went into the caves to do meditations and dream work. And there's also lots of information about the dream temples as well too. And all of the healing and the soul work that was done in the dream temples. And so been watching these videos. I've watched one of them a couple of times and went through the guidebook. And then there is a link to an essay that Carmen wrote. And from there, it's been like following all the links and doing all this beautiful research. So I want to tell you a little bit about this deck if you don't know about it, because it is very, very special. So this is a deck where you are invited to go into your dreams and to explore the meaning of the cards in relation to allow the cards to bring forth what needs healing through your dreams. And the paintings are just amazing. They're just, I don't know, I'm so moved by this deck. And then there's a few other things I want to share with you. Hopefully the Tower card will come up here when I'm flipping through these. Look at that Moon card. Isn't that lovely? So, okay, so here is this. I think this is the card that sold me on the deck. This is the Tower card with that energy blasting through her. And when I saw this card, it's like, yes, that's what the Tower means. That's what the Tower is. Rock my effing soul. Like blast me open. Knock me over. Purify me. Cleanse me. Right? It's so crazy beautiful. I just love this card. And the thing about this card also is it taps into this place for me where when you do this work with the tarot, you need to be so brave. You need to be so strong. And in the last couple of videos that I've done, the word container has really come up for me a couple of times. And this is a teaching that I'm so familiar with, but I have forgotten, and I've forgotten to share it with people. But I'm so glad that I was reminded about this. And that is that when we're doing this work, the container, the physical body, needs to be so strong and so healthy so that we can withstand this kind of energy. And so the reason that we eat properly, the reason that we, we go for walks in the forest, the reason that we leave our phones in the kitchen and don't have them on in our room at night, or I don't know, whatever it is that you do, is so that the container can be healed and nourished and restored on a daily basis so that we can do this, amazing work that we're doing. Yeah, so anyway, container has been something that's really been coming up for me. All right. Watching all lives and getting nothing done today. That's pretty funny. I recently obtained that deck, Sacred Turtle says. Yeah. That Tower card. I was so fortunate to obtain this deck as soon as Arnell had it available. It is amazing. Laura, you must have an amazing collection of decks. How many, should I ask how many decks you have? So more on this deck, because I wanted to tell you how it's, I'll just tell you a couple more things, and then I'm going to tell you how I've been working with it. So the aces in this deck are in black and white in grayscale. So that is the ace of spirals. So that's the ace of earth, ace of pentacles. And the idea with the aces being in black and white is that it's more of it's like a blank slate. It's like anything and everything can arise from the ace. So it's a little different than what I'm used to working with, because when I think of the aces and work with the aces, the place that I'm coming from is that the ace is the completeness. It's complete. And all of the energy of the whole suit is contained within the ace. And so there's a piece of the ace, 2, 3, the 8, the 10 is all in there. And sometimes when I look at the 5, I need to remind myself that 5 is just a piece of the ace. It's just a part. And we have those other 9 parts. And we're just kind of going through the energy and experiencing the 5. The rest of them are all there. They're all there and they're all available to us. But for some reason, that 5 is shining its light right now. So in this deck, the ace has a little different feel to it. It doesn't feel so complete. It feels more blank slate-ish, if that makes sense to you. Yeah. And then it's really, really cool what she's done with the knights. And I meant they should be here on top. So the knights in this deck are called trails, Trails. And the knights are the guides. They are the guides that lead you into your journey, into the dream world. And they are also in black and white. And so the knights guide you to the aces and then take you through the journey of the minors. It's really, really interesting. And the minors look nothing like the majors. The minors look a little bit like my tarot journal. So they look like doodles and scribbles. And I mean, I can't doodle and scribble this well. But they are incomplete thoughts. So like what I said before, they are pieces. They're pieces of the journey. And they're really beautiful. They have less color. And some of them have a lot of little tiny notes on them. And so I actually have to take a magnifying glass because I can't read it. And that is really fun to do that. And then the other piece of the minors is that the twos only have a little bit of color. And then there's a crescendo of the colors as you go 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's more color in the 5 than the 4, and there's more color in the 6 than the 5. And then the 10 has the most color, but not as much color as the majors do. So it's been really, really interesting. So when a deck has a really different system like this, it's almost like I put all my other decks away and I spend my spare time just working on it, card by card, aspect by aspect, suit by suit. If there is resource material, I love going to the resource material. And Carmen also, so Carmen's working on an extensive, Carmen Sorrenti, she's working on an extensive guidebook for this one as well too, which may be out in early 2021. And I'm just checking at the back here. So this is the guidebook. So you only get these tiny, tiny little descriptions, which are much like the feel of the cards, right? There's not much there. It's really up to you and your imagination and your ability to journey with the cards. I was just looking to see, well, no, there's no references in this little guidebook, like if there was a bibliography or something, but there isn't. So yeah, but her essay is really good on Arnell's website. So yeah. Whale Song has around 120. I have a lighted magnifying glass to use with the minors. I think it is Tarot Map that has an interview with Carmen Sorrenti. Maybe you mentioned that already. Yeah, so Kasha at Tarot Map has an interview, and also Wasima at Ascension Waves. And if you're interested, well, I'm going to do a video about this eventually, and I'll put all the links for the deck there. But if you are curious, you can leave a comment below, and I'll put up some of those links if you don't follow Tarot Map or Ascension Waves. Yeah. All right. So what else do I have to show you? I feel like this is show and tell today. Show and tell. What did I get? So many of you, because I've seen similar stories, ordered. So Jonas Jouse came out with a reprint, and she ordered so few decks that a lot of us that ordered decks, we didn't get them. We just got a refund on PayPal. And I was really ticked because I ordered it I paid the euros, paid the conversion. And then when I got my refund, the conversion was different because the currencies are fluctuating all the time. And I made a comment to the creator. And if any of you are deck creators, I think and if I ever do create a deck, I would always do this, to refund the person in the currency that they paid. So not the currency that the deck is sold in, but to do the refund just out of your honor in Canadian dollars in my case, right? So I don't lose money. However, I wrote an email to her and she sent me the difference. So she sent me like €4. I thought that was so sweet. So big shout out to her for that. So the deck is coming available again soon. And all of us who didn't get the deck through the last reprint, we got a special email and we got a pre-order for the next printing. So yeah, so I got mine and I haven't even looked at them yet. And I'm so excited. So this is one of these decks that is long and skinny. And I do not have that lovely, lovely Marseille deck that I've seen on so many people's channels that is now out of print because the creator died. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited. These colors are just, to me, they're just so stunning. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I should just show you. I'm not going to go through the whole deck, but I am so happy. When I saw this deck on Instagram, I just started looking at all the cards, and there was something about the colors and the shape and it's just like, wow. Right? The golds and the purples and the greens. So I'm going to fan it out for you so you can see. Can you see that color palette? It's really, really cool. Oh. So this is going to be one of those decks also. That's going to take me a little bit because I see the titles are not in English. But I can get the gist of it because it says Justiça. It's just so beautiful. Wow. So here's the Hermit. Look at that. I'm really excited. Do you know this? So you all know what my favorite deck is, right? I have a feeling that this deck, because I've been just drooling over it on Instagram, is going to be it's going to be my deck. It's going to be my deck. I just have a feeling. So cool. Wow. And there's quite a few skulls in this deck, which is something that I didn't notice before. This is the 3 of bastos. So this is going to be the 3 of wands. So it's definitely going to have like a pip, right? Which is really nice. I'm kind of getting to that place where to allow the energy of the numbers to really come through, and this is going to be amazing in spreads because there's fewer colors. It's going to like have this weaving together. Did you see the video I did on the Aura Lenormand, the Lenormand deck that has that gold stuff that kind of weaves all through it? That's how I kind of feel like this deck is going to read. And whoa, look at this one. So Sete, what is this? I guess this is 7 of Cups. Whoa. So we have slightly different meanings. So how am I gonna deal with this? Because we have a foreign language and we have no book. Foreign language, no book. So that was my experience with the Lily White, right? And oh, she did write a book, and I did order the book, but the book is in French. And I do speak French, sort of, kind of. And I can read French a little better than I speak. There's also dictionaries and Google and all of that. So I, as necessary, have referred to Celia Melville's guidebook for Lily White, especially when it came to the cards that were very, very different, like the knights, for example. Like there's no the knights just have a showing part of a body. There's no heads on the knights and things like that. And there's hearts on the pages and little suns over the knights and stuff like that. So it was really challenging for me. And there's one card in that deck that I don't get it. I really don't get it. And so the only thing I can do is to have a chit chat with the creator, and I need to contact her, and I need to talk to her. And I think that we need to be brave enough to reach out to the creators. And of course they will get back to us when they have time. And I've had really good luck with that. You know, I've so many creators I have emailed, written to, and some of them have been really generous with answering the questions. Others not so much, but I think all you have to do is ask and it will be revealed. So Jonas Jouse, which is this deck here, she has created a guidebook. I do not know what language it's in. And I went to order it. So it's free, and all you do a donation. And I noticed, and I didn't go through with it, it says it's 30 pages. So if it's only 30 pages, it's not going to be a lot of information. And it also says that it's based on Jodorowsky, I think. So it's based on his work. And so what I'm going to do is, I think I have that book. I'll have to go, the Bendov Jodorowsky book. I think I will go and see if that is on my bookshelf. And then I'm going to reread that book and then kind of go through her book. But I feel intuitively that I will be able to manage this just fine, because I'm so enchanted. I'm so enchanted. So for some reason, this deck I'm really enchanted with, and this one not so much, right? And I thought, and it's disappointing, right? It's disappointing, especially when you have paid money for an indie version of a deck. Have you guys done that? Have you ordered indie decks and they arrived in your mailbox and you opened them and you're just like, oh my God, like, why did I back that? Why did I order that? Have you had that experience? Because there's a couple that I have. Okay. Hi, Nancy. I should scroll back and see if anybody else has shown up here. Yeah. The colors of the Mystical Dreamer Tarot have a huge effect on me. Really drew me in. These colors seem to be the same. Mystical Dreamer Tarot. I'm not sure about that one. I'll have to look it up. So do you follow Tarot Nerds on Facebook? It's a huge Facebook group. And that question was posted today. And it's really funny that the same topic, that the question I just asked you, was a topic that came up. And it was, do you have decks that you can't connect with? You can't find a way in. And I posted a comment, and one of the things, so a lot of people said Wild Unknown, and somebody said quite far down, they were talking about the Fountain. And then I was thinking about my experience with the Fountain Tarot, and my experience with the Fountain Tarot really evolved over time, as did the Ophidia Tarot. And these are two decks that I used in a more recent of the deck combo videos that I did. And so some decks, I think, just put them away, let them percolate on your shelf and come back to them. And then maybe you need to put them away again and then come back to them. I think trading decks right away, like on a snap reaction, is sometimes we regret doing things like that. So sometimes decks need time to grow. But I have another thought about that as well too. I see orange. I am disappointed. I was also one that got a refund, but I did not get the email that the deck was back in print. Ooh, that's too bad. So it is not up on her website yet, but if you email her and let her know, then she will get it right. Like I got it, I put my PayPal through and I got it from, where the heck does this come from? Spain? From Spain to West Coast of Canada in 2 days. Like it was here like that. So I would email her and let her know you're one of those people, and hopefully if you still want it, you can get it. That's my suggestion. I have not ordered indie decks because in New Zealand it works out to be over 120 to 150 New Zealand dollars, even when a deck costs. I know, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. That was how I felt when I wanted the Weaver's Oracle, and I had some friends that were traveling in Europe, and so yeah, so I had. Did I? I think I did. I had it delivered to their hotel room in Europe because the mail was cheaper, and then I wouldn't be dinged for customs if I was going to have to pay customs. So that hasn't happened too often. That I've had to pay that, but I know a lot of people do. I hear that like on Simon's channel all the time, having to pay customs, and that really, really sucks. Alrighty, so I have one more. So Jonas, the creator of this one, I think her name is Jonas Joust. That's not what's in her email. That's not her email name. So that might just be her creator name. Created another deck called the Stunning Tarot. And this one I did leaf through, so it's not in order. And yes, there is a PDF for the Jonas Joust. I just don't know what language. Oh, there's a PDF. There's a PDF. It is in English. Okay. Okay. And is that, so I'm just, Tarot Tales. I don't know what time you came on. Did you hear me say thank you? I said thank you. Thank you so much for your coffee. I really appreciate it. So I really thank you so much. The PDF for the Jonas Joust, it's you donate. You can donate $1 or $5 or $10, whatever you want to donate, and then you get the PDF. But I haven't done that yet because I wanted to make sure that it was in English. All right, so here we go. So this is the Stunning Tarot. And I did not order this the first time. And then I think it was Kasha at Tarot Map that was going through it. And I thought, oh, okay. This is a deck that really intrigued me. And there's a few things that I didn't pick up on the first time I saw it. So I want to kind of share this with you because this is really cool. And because I'm working with the full Arcos right now, I've just received the Jonas Joust. And then I have this Stunning. The Stunning is probably going to go away on a shelf for a little while. But I have a feeling I'm not going to have to work too hard with the Stunning. It's really quite something. So in the Suit of Swords, they're all mer people. So they all are in the water, which is really interesting, right? Because when you think of swords, I don't necessarily think of mer people or think of the element of water. So there's the 9. There's the 10. So I found that really interesting. And so this is not something that I picked up on before. And then in the suit of cups, we have more of a gypsy energy. How are we doing for time here? We're good. So there's the Three of Cups. So each of the suits has a different culture, which is a little bit like, who does that? New Era Elements does that, and Ancestral Path. I don't know, do you know other decks that have different cultures for different suits? This one is kind of cool. It looks like she's going to make an offering at the family altar or something for the Six of Cups, which really makes sense to me. And then in this one too, there's some pippish cards, and some that are going to take a little bit of work. So yeah, so and then in the suit of Pentacles, it's all Egyptian mythology. Which I always have to refresh my I always have to kind of go back and go through. Oh yeah, who's Anubis again? Which one's that? The names don't roll off my tongue for all of the Egyptian references. So that's the suit of Pentacles. And then in the suit of Wands, we have more of a Caucasian energy, right? So we have white European, white North American energy. So that is really interesting. And the color purple. So we have the color purple for Wands, which I would associate with air. And we have the color yellow for Pentacles. I guess that kind of goes with the gold. And then the other two suits are both red. And it's really, it's going to be a really fun deck to work with. Look at this Hermit card. Have you guys seen this? It's actually, it's kind of bizarre, some of the cards. Some of the ones I've shown you make perfect sense, and other ones are really bizarre. Oh, this is a great one. When I saw this is the Death card. I'm going to hold it up for a second so you can really get a look at it. Look at that. Isn't that a good Death card? So awesome. So, yeah. Just see if I can. Here's Judgment. They're not all awesome. This one really intrigues me. This is the Fool. Yeah. So I feel kind of the Magician is fun too. That's the Magician. I feel like, so what I wanted to share with you tonight was that when I get a new deck, if it's not something that's straight up RWS, a straight up clone, then, and it's a deck that takes quite a bit of work. What I tend to do is do quite a bit of work. I do the research. I get the guidebook. I get the extra guidebook. If the extra guidebook's not available, I go to the used bookstores and do that. Like this one, have you guys seen this one? This is just sitting here because I was doing a past life reading. This is the Labyrinth Tarot. So the Labyrinth Tarot, the reason I bought this deck was because it, to me, has an other world quality. It's very it kind of, and the minors are like pips. It kind of transcends culture. And when I'm doing a past life reading, I really like to have a deck that transcends culture. So there was an extended guidebook, an extended book that came with the Labyrinth Tarot, but it's out of print years and years and years ago. But I found it on Abe Books, I think, abebooks.com for $10. And so I got it. And it's amazing because these are tiny little cards, and I was able to see. So in the book, they're like, it's like a kid's hard book. That's what it reminds me of, and it smells like it too, from a library. They're like 8 inches by 10 inches, the picture, so you can really see what the art is about. And so when I really want to know about a deck, I think it's so worth the effort to get the resources so you can really understand where the artist is coming from. And then I think another point that is, hi, Lori. Nice to have you here. Lisa, sorry. Lisa, I called you Lori. Hi, Lisa. I really think it's worth the effort to go and to do the extra bit of legwork. And then it's not about you understanding the artist. It's about then you kind of making it your own. Okay, so this is where they were coming from. And then, but I have all this other experience that they don't have. And maybe that's why you were drawn to the deck. So you have this new layer that you blend into what you already have. And then you have this amazing, amazing experience with the deck. So it's just really cool. Oh, and I'm also working on that. Oh yeah, so the William Blake. So I want to go back to this deck. So I think I'm probably going to put this away, and I might buy the William Blake Tarot, because I am fascinated with all of that stuff about Albion that I started sharing with you at the beginning of this video. And it's not really my style of artwork, but I'm fascinated with the levels of metaphor and all that the creator has built into that deck. So let me kind of go back and see how we're doing here. So Lisa, what have we talked about? Well, I've talked about my struggle with a stolen child, and I am breaking in the full Arcos, and I'm breaking in Jonas Joust, which I just got today, and her other deck, the Stunning Tarot. Yeah, so those 4 are what I'm working on, what I'm breaking in. Handle. What about Handle? Oh, has Handle been, I need to go back. Maybe you're in another chat. I know a lot of people I've heard that, and it's not a deck that I have, but that has been a bit of a struggle for, some people. Okay, Handle was my first tarot deck ever. Oh, that's cool. I have not felt called to my stolen child at all. Yeah, so Lisa, you might want to go back and see some of the things I said about that. All right, and then okay, all right. So Lisa says, "Ooh, those are all fascinating and unique decks." Yeah, they really, really are. And I feel like, oh, I was going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story about what's been going on with me. I feel like I've been having a really lucid dreaming as I've been working with the full Arcos. I feel so. One of my friend's moms, she just died at 10:15 a.m. today, Pacific Standard Time, while I was winding up my yoga class and chanting. It was just like perfect timing. But I've been holding space for her. It's been been a bit of a journey. So I'm holding space for her. I'm holding space for my neighbor who's not well. And there's a few other things that are going on. But yesterday, I went for an ultrasound. I've been for lots of ultrasounds in my life. I have 4 kids, right? So I've had lots of ultrasounds for different things. And I went to work after I had the ultrasound, and I still right now have a headache. I never get headaches. I have no Tylenol in my house. I have no ibuprofen. I have none of that stuff because it's just not. I don't have it anymore. I have alternative ways of dealing with that, and just mostly I feel pretty awesome all the time. So this ultrasound really shook me up. And one of the things I want to do is I want to see if there's anybody has written about when you are kind of deep in it, when you're deep in your spiritual work, when you're feeling a little raw, when your vibration is a little higher, when you are maybe not particularly grounded, and you go and you have an ultrasound, what do all those sound waves actually do? Like, I feel like, I'll go back and show you that card. I feel like that lightning card, like the tower card in the for Arcos Tarot. That's what I feel like. I feel like that ultrasound, it just blasted through every cell of my body and has shook me up. And somehow I need to just wait a couple days and allow, for the integration and for the dust to settle. But I've never had that experience before. And that's the only thing different I've done. I didn't not have coffee. I don't know, like nothing has changed except that darn ultrasound yesterday. And I feel like crap, to tell you the truth. Okay. So where are we here? I just was curious if anybody, Mercury retrograde, maybe. I just had one a few weeks ago, but haven't experienced that. Yeah, like I've had so many ultrasounds, and this has never happened before, but I don't know. Could be something else going on. It could just be like, sometimes you just have a lot going on and your body just, it reacts because you need to sleep and you need to rest, and your body, you just need to listen carefully. So yeah. So last night when I woke up with my head pounding out of my lucid dream, and I didn't have my dream journal there, I thought, what am I going to do? Like my head hurts. I'm like so uncomfortable. So I sat up in my bed and I started doing mantra. I got out my mala and I was doing mantra. And within seconds, I just felt peaceful. It was so beautiful. So I want to say thank you to my Swamiji for my mantra, because that was amazing medicine. And I need to remember, sometimes when we're feeling a lot of pain and anguish, it's because there's also a sense of disconnect. And so that kind of connected me right away, but the headaches come back. So maybe I need to go do some mantra and say goodbye to all of you. So it's been fun tonight. And yeah, let me know about, what do we got going here? We have a few questions. I just had one a few weeks ago, but haven't experienced it. That's really interesting. Interrupting the vibration. Were you stressed about the ultrasound results? Not really. Thanks for the reminder of the thumbs up, Lori. Not really. So this is the 3rd ultrasound for the same thing, and nothing has shifted. And energetically, I'm working on it. And I think did I share with you my past life reading about being a dancer in India? I don't know if I told you that story. So in one of my past life readings, I was a dancer in a temple in India. Did I tell you this story already? I forget. I don't know if I did. So anyway, I think I was like, I don't know. I got that feeling that I was kind of like the lead dancer. I was like the person that everybody looked up to. I was kind of like a I don't know, like a I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it. But anyway, I got pregnant and I had a baby, which broke all the rules in the temple. And when I came out into the temple to be with, I don't know, all the other people, there was my baby, and my baby was dead. And so they'd killed my baby because I wasn't allowed to have a baby. And so this was a really profound pattern that was revealed to me in a reading. Oh gosh, many years ago. And so I have been dissecting all of my experience with. I was adopted as a baby, and many of my sisters, not many, one of my sisters gave up a child for adoption. And I was going through all of my spontaneous abortions. I've had a therapeutic abortion, going through all of those kind of stories and trying to unravel and unpeel the lessons and the teachings and all of that, because the ultrasound was for a cyst on one of my ovaries, and it's benign. It's been tested, and so there's something there. And so I've been talking through all this lately, and it's really interesting. So you asked a very simple question. And the question was, were you worried about the results? No, I'm not worried about the results. What I want to do, what I want to move through, is to release the pattern of grief. So my reaction to the death of the baby was that I refused to dance. So I no longer was a dancer. I don't know how the story unfolded. I left the temple or whatever, but the point was, in that transmission from the reader, was that I no longer danced, and so that I rejected beauty. So I had a big pattern of grief, and I didn't want anything to do with the beauty. With beauty, that was the word that was coming through. So yeah, so there's something about this cyst, and there's something about that pattern, and I feel like I'm this close away from releasing that pattern. So that's one of the reasons I love doing this work, and I really feel empowered doing this work. And I feel like bringing in the energy from the medical system only informs me more, and I feel really comfortable working with both of them together. So yeah, so you learned something very personal about me tonight. So do with that what you will. I am gonna just look on here one more, see if there's anything else. Yeah, intense. Yeah, like my joy was taken away. So I have had follow-up readings about that with the same person, and it's been quite a journey. So yeah. All right. So I think I'm done. I'm done for today. So I hope you enjoyed my show and tell. It was fun opening these decks, and I'm so most excited about this one. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm going to keep working with my full Arcos Tarot, because it's taken me on some amazing journeys. And yeah. So again, let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Chat with me in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Bye, my friends.